Hey everyone, Mr. Owlman8 here with a How to Fix segment. The subject for this fixer-upper will be Dragon Ball Evolution. So the major problem with this movie is that it was trying to be something it was not. By adding a cookie-cutter storyline with the whole teenager with special powers at high school shtick, it took away most of what made the franchise special. So for this fixer-upper, a good amount of elements of the Dragon Ball franchise will be added in order to make the adaptation more like an adaptation, such as scenery, inhabitants, etc. That said, the Americanization and the modernization of the characters and other elements will still be there in some capacity. After all, this is a how to fix segment, not a how to replace it all segment. Now, I think it would help if it were more epic in comparison. So, almost 2 hours long, give or take, and maybe more money put into it. From $30 million to 40 or 50 mil. Also, not every character from the franchise will make an appearance, since there are a lot. So we will keep the essential ones in the movie. Now for some other behind the scenes stuff, obviously a lot of heavy modifications will need to be made, such as the directing, special effects, etc. As for the stuff on stage, don't expect for any of the actors to change or anything like that. And by that, I mean the main cast members. That said, we are going to make Goku like Goku. He is going to be far less pissy and remove the cliches. Oh yes, and none of that about to take a fart look. Other characters will get a similar treatment, in one way or another. The start of the movie would likely be different. You could even have it be in the same vein as the anime was. Also, the Piccolo and Ozaru bit would likely be mentioned once in the movie, and not twice like in the original. As we cut to the fight scene with Goku vs Gohan, this leads to one of the major issues within the movie. You see, the dialogue after the fight is an utter cliche. So we need to fix that. And basically make this as a what if Grandpa Gohan was still alive kind of deal. And you can still keep the part where Goku wants the girl. Thus, in turn, could lead up to some relevant dialogue. For example, "You have grown up real fast. It was not long ago when you didn't know what a woman was." And then you could bring up stuff like catching that huge fish, or being up a pterodactyl, and or had to fend off some bandits. All relevant stuff with his character. Then after that, Goku is given the 4-star Dragon Ball. This leads to the next part of this fixer-upper. So during the dialogue, I'm thinking about adding a bit where Goku is eager to go to high school. Presumably his first day. Why? Well, basically, we are going to turn the high school into a martial arts one. And it will be known as the Mutaito Training Academy. Think Camp Half-Blood, minus the camp, meets Enter the Dragon. That way, the quota is met, but we also have that Dragon Ball pizzazz. And, like Hogwarts, you can have houses. In the case of this franchise, you can have the Turtle House, the Crane House, even an Ox House, and maybe some others. Anyway, a lot of stuff from the movie will get that Dragon Ball flavor. Such as replace that kid with Krillin, those bullies replaced with Tien and Chaozu, and other stuff that we'll get into later. And don't ask me as to who would play these guys. Anyway, here's what I had in mind when introducing the characters. So I was thinking something along the lines of maybe Goku bumping into Tien, and Goku thinks that Tien is his friend because he likes to fight, only to get pummeled by him. Because at this point Tien is a pretty tough bugger, and is the top student of the Crane School. Luckily, Goku is saved by the top turtle student, Krillin. And that is how Krillin and Goku become friends. So yeah, the Crane House is basically Cobra Kai, and Krillin is that best buddy being all swanky and such. Now, even with the modifications, some stuff will be played out, such as Goku going cuckoo for Chi-Chi, being invited to the party, and having a fight before he goes to set party. Which, by the way, this fight would end with Goku and Tien in a draw. And maybe add a few mods, such as Krillin maybe breaking up the fight, then talks to Goku and that he's glad he's ready to party and all that, and add a better version of Chi-Chi and Goku moments. That could help as well. Other characters that I will add for this fixer-upper will be in regards to the villains. The characters include Pilaf and Shu, who would also show up along with the established Mai. And like Mai, they would also be enforcers, as well as the reason why Piccolo was released from his prison. Other characters include tambourine, cymbal, piano, and drum. And maybe the Fulums if we have enough in the budget. Speaking of, Piccolo's motivations will be a lot less generic. Instead of just simply taking over the world with the Dragon Balls, he will wish for eternal youth and to an extent immortality in order to create a huge army of his children without losing any of his life force. And use said army to conquer the world. Also, I was thinking Shu could be this silent, dog-masked ninja. Like throughout the movie, he has this badass ninja vibe going on, and then later in the movie, he speaks, and it's like one of them hilarious surprises. So basically, modern badass Shu to classic funny Shu. We also get some extra scenes with the villains, with some dialogue, and more details as to what they are about. This in turn would give the villains more depth, as well as better Dragon Ball hunting scenes. Those elements would also be added into the scene with Grandpa Gohan and Piccolo. And yes, we are keeping that bit with Piccolo dressed as a Piccolo. And yes, we are keeping Goku's fixing his hairdo for a date bit. And yes, we are keeping a good chunk of Bulma stuff, including the nod to the movie with the DBE device. Speaking of Bulma and Goku, we can add a decent fight scene, maybe with some gizmos here and there, while Goku defends his house. Then Bulma accidentally knocks him over, similar to how the anime was played out. Then they get to know each other. Okay, as soon as Goku and Bulma show up at Master Roshi's, well, I was considering Master Roshi meets Goku earlier, but a more interesting idea, okay, so detour time here. What if Roshi was absent from the Turtle class and had a substitute teacher in the form of Pilaf? Furthermore, Pilaf does work at the school, and that's how he finds the container that Piccolo was in, with the obvious intent to take over the world. And he possibly was the one that caused Roshi to be absent or something. So yeah, your new teacher for the martial arts is Professor Pilaf. Okay, back to Roshi. Roshi is still eccentric as ever, with better acting from Goku and fun interactions with Roshi, Goku, and Bulma. As our heroes get the 2-star Dragon Ball from Master Roshi, we get to the tournament portion of the movie. Roshi informs Goku and Bulma that another Dragon Ball can be obtained as a prize by entering the martial arts tournament. And it's back at the school. So once they get there, the tournament will start, and it will have 8 contenders. They will include Goku, Chi-Chi, Krillin, Chaozu, Tien, Mai, as well as 2 others. As to who they may be, there are a variety of characters to choose from. Now, we could add a preliminary montage, but it will depend on how much time we have left in the movie. The highlights include Krillin vs Chaozu, Chi-Chi vs Mai, Tien vs Krillin, Goku vs Chi-Chi, and Goku vs Tien. This fight scene would be the 3rd time that these two had fought together one-on-one. First fight has Goku beaten by Tien, second fight has Goku and Tien in a draw, and the 3rd fight has Goku beating Tien. This will establish on how strong he has gotten throughout the movie. And with that, Goku wins the tournament, and a Dragon Ball. This is where you can add Tambourine, where he fights off the many fighters. Some might live, some might die, one of them might be Krillin. Either way, Goku fights Tambourine one-on-one, and Goku just manages to beat him. Afterwards, our hero's journey for the next Dragon Ball. Now, you could also have Bulma leaving the tournament to get to the next Dragon Ball. Then when we get to the lava scene, Goku can catch up after the tournament, swoop in, fight off the foes, and save the day. But that's to save time for the movie. Either way, the story would go the same way, with our heroes trapped by Yamcha. Not only will this scene be shorter, but also refined. As Bulma flirts and fails, and Yamcha starts to leave, we get right to the part where the Dragon Ball is detected, and Roshi flies out of the hall and bargains with Yamcha. He agrees, and they head to the lava level. Now, Fuloms or not, Symbol will be added, and would emerge and fight Goku either way. And while Goku can beat Symbol, it'd be kinda cool if Krillin helped by slicing Symbol in half with his Destructo Disc. So to recap, the first Dragon Ball is a birthday gift, Dragon Ball 2 is from Master Roshi, Dragon Ball 3 is a tournament prize, and Dragon Ball 4 is found near lava, with the remaining 3 captured by Piccolo. After that we cut to the temple, which is now part of the school, and I guess Ernie Hudson is still in this role, or maybe he can be Master Mutaito. That can work. Now for Goku learning the Kamehameha lessons, and yes, we are calling it Ki and not frickin' airbending. Now you could have Goku still be worried and upset about his father's death, and that is why he is having a hard time learning the Kamehameha wave. Then, as Chi-Chi shows up, well, it'd be more about giving him confidence and something to fight for, and not just Goku being horny. Then, after Goku learns to master his ki with Chi-Chi, the bad guys infiltrate to get the Dragon Balls, much like last time. Also, you can have Pilaf's mech suit in order to grab Mai and then fly off. Now, before Goku wakes up, we fix the dream sequence with Gohan by adding dialogue between "Now is not your time" and "Have faith in who you are." Something like this. "Once again, you have grown very fast. Even more than Ozaru himself. You must never forget that you are Goku." After Goku wakes up, our heroes head to Piccolo's location in the Valley of Rocks and Canyons. On their way, they encounter Drum and Piano with good fight sequence, with the help of Tien and Chaozu to take them down. Then, as Goku faces Piccolo, Goku finds out that the eclipse for the Dragon Balls was a lie, and it was all a ploy to bring forth Piccolo's weapon, Ozaru. And much like last time, Goku becomes Ozaru, and after Roshi's death, Ozaru goes back to being Goku and fights Piccolo. Meanwhile, Shu vs Yamcha and Bulma vs Mai occurs. For the showdown, better effects, as in less screensavery, better fight choreography, such as the punching and the kicking. Once Goku takes down Piccolo, Piccolo beams energy from his mouth and explodes as Goku blows him up. Then Pilaf shows up with his mech suit to take down Goku. So with the Pilaf gang versus Bulma, Yamcha and Goku, we have a fun showdown. Then Goku turns into Ozaru and destroys the mech suit. Once the Pilaf gang are beaten, they hightail out of here. Then Goku makes a wish and brings back all the people who were killed by Piccolo and his forces. Which, by the way, the dragon would resemble more like Shenron. Then after that, the characters reunite, rejoice, and maybe a roughly or similar ending as last time. During the credits, we get a scene with the Pilaf gang as they obtain a big egg. Said egg hatches, and out pops a green fist. Now, how would this improve the movie? Well, this can go from a lot less hated to very well liked. Much like a so bad it's good movie. Or a decent fun casual movie to watch with your friends. Or even with your family. And hey, for what it's worth, they can make more action figures, and that video game they had, you can select more playable characters. And that is how I would fix Dragon Ball Evolution.